Hey guys, it's Mahel here, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to choose a university in the UK for UCAS 2022 entry. I'm Mahel Khan, I'm a University of Nottingham graduate and a current University of Manchester master's student. But before we get into the video, if you're new here or if you haven't already, then make sure you click the subscribe button and click the bell to turn all post notifications on so that you don't miss out on a single video as soon as it goes live. Also, if you want access to exclusive perks such as being able to message me directly on Instagram to ask a burning question or to play games with me on platforms such as PC, PS4 and PS5, then make sure you become a channel member today. You can do so by clicking the join button below this video or alternatively heading over to my channel page. Now without further ado, let's get into the video, and there are 5 different criteria that I've picked out on how to choose a university and exactly what to look for when you are picking a university and ultimately putting down your preference list on UCAS. So number 1 on the list is to look at the top 20 universities in the UK according to both the QS World Rankings and the Shanghai Rankings. The reason I mention these rankings in particular rather than national ones from, for example, The Guardian, The Times and etc. is because when you are looking for a job, you want to keep your options as broad as possible and give yourself as many options as possible. And so by going to a university that is globally recognised and simply not just recognised in the UK, you are keeping your doors open. For example, I'm currently a student at the University of Manchester, and this is a globally recognised university with many Nobel laureates and so much more. And so if I went to, for example, America and I applied for a job there, chances are they would have probably heard of the University of Manchester as one of the major UK universities. However, if I went to somewhere like, I don't know, Liverpool John Moores University, then chances are that someone in America, when they're looking at my CV, are thinking, what university is this? University of Liverpool? And which it isn't, but they most likely would not recognise the name. And so basically you want to stand out from the rest. You want to go to as good of a university as possible in terms of prestige and rankings. However, there are other factors that do come into this, which I'm going to go into in a bit in the other points. And you might be thinking that this is a very elitist view to go to a university that's as good as possible in terms of prestige and rankings. However, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we are in an elitist society. I've seen jobs on LinkedIn that I personally haven't been able to apply for. For example, the University of Manchester is 6th in the UK according to the QS World Rankings from memory. However, despite being the 6th top university in the UK according to QS, there are certain jobs that I still cannot apply for on LinkedIn, as I've seen in the job description that they only want graduates from, yes, Oxbridge and LSE and Imperial, which you might be thinking, wow, that's pretty bad and that is quite elitist, but simply that is just the way it is. And instead of hating the player, hate the game. So don't hate on me for telling you you should try and be in that elitist mindset. Hate the fact that it's like that in the first place, but until things have changed, I would advise going to a top 20 university in the UK according to both the QS World Rankings and the Shanghai Rankings. Obviously, the higher up, the better, but there are other factors which come into this, which I'm going to go into now. So number 2 on the list is to find a balance between a good university and a good university experience. What exactly do I mean by a university experience? I don't simply mean going out on the sesh and seeing what cities and universities have the best nightlife. No, I mean a balance between the academic support that you're going to get, welfare support, obviously the city that you're in, what you can do in that city, how easy it is to get home if you ever need to go home, how expensive it is, affordability, and so much more. And that is why I've said previously, pick out the top 20 universities in the UK according to QS and Shanghai Rankings, as chances are within some of these universities, like let's say 15th and 16th place, there won't be much of a difference and there won't be much of an opportunity cost going to one or the other. However, there may be a massive difference in the university experience and what works for you. I'm going to provide an example. Nottingham is a top 20 university in the UK according to QS World Rankings. However, the university experience there, whilst the city was good and the nightlife was good, the actual university support and what was available during COVID and even just throughout my whole experience was woeful. It was dreadful. I had never seen something as bad at a academic level as I had at Nottingham when it came to support. and things are different at the University of Manchester, which is great. I've had no problems whatsoever with academic support. If I need something, I literally get a response in like 20 minutes, which is great. I actually love social sciences at the University of Manchester. But my point being is, when you take a university like the University of Nottingham, and then you take a university like the University of Birmingham, Nottingham and Birmingham, you really wouldn't be worse off going to one or the other. And so at that point, you can start to look at which one am I going to enjoy myself more at, and which one can I do better at. Because although these universities are quite prestigious, some universities, let's be real, you can actually do better at than others, simply due to the way it's taught and assessed, and also regulations such as being able to be bumped up a grade, etc. So don't just simply look at the rankings at face value. Do look at the top 20, but within those top 20, look at each of the universities and see what will work for you in terms of affordability, student support, nightlife, the city that it's based in, being able to get home, and other factors which may suit your needs. So to sum up that point, obviously there would be a massive difference between going to, for example, LSE and going to Newcastle University. However, when it comes to universities, for example, the University of Leeds, Nottingham, Birmingham, there's not so much of a difference between them. And so at this point, you can consider other factors such as, like I said previously, nightlife, affordability, student support, accessibility, and more. My third tip would be to look at the town or the city that the university is situated in. Now, different cities have different experiences. For example, although Nottingham is a city and Manchester is also a city, the experience in Manchester is so much more different to what it is in Nottingham. Nottingham feels like a small city or a big town, whereas Manchester is a proper city like Birmingham and like London. And so I feel in Manchester, everything is a bit more free-flowing. Everyone is just like nice, and it's quite a vibrant city. It's quite multicultural as well. I'd say it's more multicultural than Nottingham, and also more affordable, being in the northwest of England versus the East Midlands. Obviously, if the more north you go, usually the cheaper it does get. And so there are various factors which can not only shape the university that you choose, but also the city that you choose. Because when you take a look at Manchester, for example, you've got the University of Manchester, you've got Manchester Metropolitan University, and a bit further up, still in Greater Manchester, you've got the University of Salford. And when you look at Nottingham, you've got the University of Nottingham and Nottingham Trent University. Now, the good thing about both of these cities, I'm not saying pick one or the other, but I'm saying the good thing about both of these cities is that they've got a massive, yes, massive student population. In fact, in Nottingham, the student population is something like 65,000, whereas in Manchester, I believe it's closer even to 100,000, which is a lot. So when you think about student activities, what you can do, like going to restaurants or going out and whatnot, then you have to consider, is the city really there for students? Is there things that you can do as a student? Is it affordable? Is it tailored towards a student? In places like Manchester and Nottingham, where there are multiple universities and a big student population, there's going to be more that's tailored towards students, like restaurants, bars, etc. And even in terms of activities such as arcades, junkyard golf club, etc. And so, although picking a university that is as prestigious as possible is important, make sure you also consider the other factors such as the city that the university is located in, as if you hate the city that you're in after moving away many miles away, then chances are that you're going to hate the university experience and want to drop out, which is never a good sign. My fourth tip on how to find a university that's right for you would be to look at YouTube videos and to go through the student room to find honest student experiences. I cannot emphasize this point enough, because you may have seen on different university Instagram pages that they may do like a student takeover. On their website they'll have like an opportunity to chat with a student live, and you might be thinking this is all good and they're really saying positive stuff about how they love the experience and whatnot. But think about it, if it's coming from the university pages directly, they're not exactly going to say, oh yes, laundry was a rip-off, I had to pay £4 whilst I was in halls every time I wanted to wash and dry. And yeah, laundry in halls can actually cost £4 every time you do it, which is a bit ridiculous. But the point is, you wouldn't have these student ambassadors advertising this on the university social media pages And chances are they wouldn't be advertising it on their personal pages either, because then they'd get in trouble for their job, as I would know myself. But the point is, make sure you go and look at opinions of people where they won't be influenced by the university and they are able to be honest. This is why I suggest YouTube videos where the YouTuber that is creating this video isn't endorsed by the university at all, and to go onto the student room to find just random students' opinions. Last but not least on my list on how to choose a university in the UK for your 2022 UCAS application is to create a shortlist of 5 universities. Yes, so you're only allowed to submit a maximum of 5 applications on UCAS, and the way I would do this is to pick one that's above your target. So let's say, for example, you are predicted ABB. I would apply for a university that requires AB, and then I would choose 2 good universities that are kind of on your level. So 2 universities that require ABB, one that's slightly below, for example, BBB, and then one that is basically an absolute panic option in case you somehow mess up your A-levels or your exams in general, and maybe go for example, let's say BBC or BCC. But my point is, make sure you pick a variety of universities in terms of grade requirements. Don't just simply go for everything that's based around your predicted grades, because let's say you are predicted ABB, you apply to 5 different universities that require ABB, and then you end up with BBB. You could get lucky and one of those 5 universities could say, we'll let you in anyways, or you could be in the unfortunate situation where all 5 reject you because you didn't meet their requirements and they have a overly competitive course, and then that leaves you panicking on results day and having to go into clearance. So like I said previously, choose one university that's slightly above your predicted grades, 2 universities that are on level with your predicted grades, one that's slightly below, and one that's really below. Hopefully you won't have to use the one that's really below, but the way I see it is, on results day, if there are universities that are still open as a last resort kind of option, instead of having to go through the stress yourself on phoning these universities up, the ones that always have spaces and quite low grade requirements, just have it there as an option, just in case. Because then later on, when you do decide which one do I want to firm and which one do I want to insure, at least you've got it there. So for example, you could decide to firm via a B option and then put the BBB option as an insurance, depending on the offers that you get in the end and how confident you are feeling about your ability to perform well in the exams. But that is going to be it for the video, guys and girls. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope it has been very insightful to you. If you did enjoy this video, then make sure to leave, like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what other videos you'd like to see from me. And if you have any questions regarding how to choose a university in the UK for your university application for 2022, then yeah, feel free to ask in the comments below and I will get back to you, no problems. But also do let me know what videos you'd like to see from me in the future. I know that the UCAS application deadline is in January from memory, so there is some time until then. I can also make an updated video on the personal statement on how to write one, as my previous video was me reading my UCAS personal statement. Make sure you go check that out if you haven't already, by the way. And don't forget to follow me on my social media handles. That's at Mahel Khan on Instagram, TikTok and Snapchat, at MahelX on Twitter, and official Mahel Khan on Facebook. Once again, I've been Mahel, talking to you about how to choose a university in the UK for your 2022 UCAS application, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.